gorgeous. You see various cars, different shapes, historical vehicles, new vehicles, vehicles of the future. What's not to like?
Suddenly we hit Autosport, and I think this is where it really starts. Everyone is here, everyone's talking, everyone's come with new ideas.
Welcome to day 2 here at Autosport International 2023, Europe's biggest motorsports event. And today, it's all about the future.
Yes, indeed, the new generation of cars and stars of the industry. Now, this is the final trade day, but there's a real sense of excitement as the show gets ready to open the doors to the public this weekend.
There really is, because for most of us motorsport fans, Autosport International really kicks off the year well, and it's fantastic to have us all back together again. So, let's get cracking. On the show today, I meet some of the sexiest electric cars you're ever likely to see.
I meet a driving legend, a 14-time rallycross champion. We get the inside track from the drivers in this year's infamous live-action arena show.
And I see how 70 years of innovation has transformed the racing driver experience. Few years, we've seen the dawn of a new racing era, out with internal combustion engines and in with battery packs and whirring motors. And while some racing fans have been slow to embrace the world of racing without those loud, noisy engines, as Formula E moves into its new Gen 3 era, Extreme E makes a real impact. And not to mention the not small matter of both WRC and World Rallycross embracing electric. It's fair to say it's here to stay. And here at Autosport International, there's a whole area dedicated to electric. The BRSCC unveiled their Formula Foundation single-seater car at Motorsport Days Live 2022, and that's just one of the groundbreaking concepts on display here in this area.
So this is the Formula Foundation car. It's an electric single-seater car, so it's very unique. This could be the only electric championship that will be happening in the UK. I am the lead development driver of the car, so I'm going to be testing it over the next couple of months, getting it ready, and next year we're going to start a championship at the end of this year. There should be more demo runs, hopefully some races, to really show people what it can do. But in the meantime, we want to make sure this car is as quick as it can possibly be to be ready for that. The next thing is going to be this. When we've seen it with Formula E racing in city streets, and for kids to be able to go and watch racing happen in city streets, they won't know the difference. For them, it's racing. And I think that's what matters. You can't stop progress. Innovation is innovation. And I think it's so exciting to see the progress that we can have with EV.
Ariel unveiled their Batman-esque hypercar, an ultra high-performance electric sports car. Now, it's been designed from the ground up to be the ultimate electric driving machine. It's 880 kilowatt motors. That's 1,180 brake horsepower. Propel it from 0 to 60 in just over 2 seconds.
It uses the Cosworth CSM module, which is our scalable battery module that we use for this. It has in four-wheel drive form about 1,180 brake horsepower, and in two-wheel drive form it has around 550 brake horsepower.
If people aren't convinced by electric, I think if they come down here and feast their eyes on this, they may just change their mind. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's really interesting. The development will continue ongoing. The range is considerable, and it has all the latest technology that Cosworth put into it, and Ariel will no doubt take this and going into production at some point. So we're very excited about the whole project, and it shows Ariel's expertise and all the technology that they have and the aerodynamics of the vehicle and the electronic side of Cosworth has all been put into this.
And you simply can't ignore this beauty. It's the Forza Hydrogen Racing Le Mans prototype Forza 8.
So what you see here is the Forza 8. This is our previous car, and it was the first hydrogen car to compete against regular petrol-powered cars in the Supercar Challenge in the Netherlands. And it got a second place back then in 2019, so it's proven to be quite successful. And what we do here is just to try to show what's the potential of hydrogen in motorsports and potential in general. And we do that by showing its potential in racing. And by showing that you can be very competitive and you can beat regular petrol-powered cars, it's really a good advocate to show that you can race in a sustainable way as well. And we're currently building the next generation, the Forza 9, which we have even better specifications. It has a top speed of 300 kilometers an hour, an acceleration of 0 to 100 under 3 seconds. We've been developing it for 3 years now, and it's set to race around this summer, next summer. I'm really excited to show how fast it will be, basically. And yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
And if you've been watching Extreme E over the last couple of years, then you cannot ignore the fact that they have brought along the incredible Odyssey 21 for us all to see. With the world turning its attention to lowering emissions, it's clear that motorsport clearly has a big part to play in all of that. It's great to see here at Autosport International that they're getting involved and showcasing here at the EV Showcase just some of the cars that we may see in the future. I don't know about you, but I quite fancy getting my mitts on this one. I think it'd look pretty good on the school run, don't you?
Here in the Performance and Tuning Car Show, you're looking at modifications. One of the most extreme you can see is the Audi R8 by Cream Developments. And today's more got cash here. It is a thing of beauty. But to start with, before we get to these cars, tell us a bit about Cream Developments.
So we've been around 20 odd years, just doing bespoke bodywork, starting from the low-end vehicles, and then we just worked our way up. So now we're one of the leading vehicle customizers in the country,
Was it a passion of yours as a kid growing up? Were you always modifying your cars?
Oh, yeah. Well, upset a lot of neighbours, put it that way. We first started out doing messing around with our own vehicles, or my dad's car, if you like. 14 years old, tinkering outside the house, doing things without his permission, cutting his exhaust off and straight piping it and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, just kind of passion just grew from there, really.
Well, it's a passion that's developed into quite a big business. Tell us a bit about the R8 that's just to our right here.
So this is a complete bespoke design from the ground up. This is a 2020 R8. The guy practically bought it brand new and dropped it off to us and left the rest to me. We generally just ask what the budget for a client generally is, and then we just go from there. Mostly, 99% of the time, they leave all the artwork and the design work to me. So we design, fabricate, manufacture everything in-house. We have no partners. We don't outsource anything. We have our own factory. And I'm very hands-on myself, so I've done a lot of the work on these cars that you see.
Talk us through some of the detail we're looking at, because to me that looks like, well, there's too many places to start, really, isn't there? But tell us through the bits that you really love.
Right, okay, so obviously, as you can see, it's wide body. The front end is actually inspired by the Lamborghini STO. So if you notice some of the Lamborghinis, which we'll look at in a minute, on the stand, they've got the same side wings and bonnet. So we forged that onto an R8 bonnet, and it's absolutely huge, as you can see. So it's the biggest panel we've ever produced. And then we had to obviously wide body the front bumper, then create all the carbon fibre undersill lip kits that you can see there. The side blade panel, which you may not have noticed, it looks very factory, but it's actually 2 inches wider. So that's a lot bigger. And then we've done something completely out of the box, which we've never done before, which is create the rear wide body to suit the front. Because normally it's just wide and smooth and round, but we went to do something totally different with this car, and it really works. I'm really happy with it.
There's so much on the stand. Let's have a whistle-stop round. You mentioned Lambos as well. We've got a couple to see, so let's go for one of them.
Everything you see on this stand here has been designed, developed and built by us, either finished in paint or wrapped. We have a partner vehicle here, actually, which is Tech Wrap over there, which is the supplier for all my wraps, yeah? So that there is actually a Tech wrap on there. That is a Tech wrap. That's a Tech wrap. So is the Lambo behind you, which is one of mine. And again, this is a live reveal. Again, as I said, there's a funny story behind this car, because it was all over social media. This car here came out of a car wash, lost control, went straight into a shop. So it was totally written off. The whole front end was absolutely smashed to pieces. We rebuilt the car up. He had our full body kit, along with the STL style wings, bonnet. We put the airlift suspension on there too, and gave it a brand spanking new look. And this is how she is now. So customer's not seen it. He's going to see it for the first time tomorrow, unveiled. It's going to be under a cover.
Amazing. Now, I've got to say, I work in British GT, and so we've got a few AMG Mercs in there, and I absolutely love an AMG Merc. You know, they are just incredible. The GTs, they're just stunning. You've got one here, but it doesn't look like one. It's not far off one actually seeing GT3, but it's got more flair to it, I'd say.
It's an aftermarket wide body kit that you can buy for these cars, and unfortunately I can't take the credit for this because this is being built by TechRap and MSL themselves. It's their show demo vehicle, because they work with us. And they're our main supplier for all our wraps. You know, of course, we had to have the car on our stand. This is a Type 2 wide body, slightly less wider than this, but nonetheless.
Can we just jump on in here for a second and have a look through the window as well? Because, I mean, look at that. I mean, when you see gold plating, that is bling to the max, isn't it? So
that is one of the key features of this car. Obviously, it was my own, so it had to be the best.
Yeah.
So we cut the window out, put that in. We've done that for a client in America as well, because there's few of these out in America. We're one of the only companies that actually fly the flag for UK in America. SEMA, Las Vegas. Yeah, we've done that show a few times.
Wow.
Now this is interesting. You're probably wondering why that car is dressed up like that.
I was beginning to wonder.
Do you know the story behind this?
Tell me.
Right. So a week prior to this event, this car was absolutely immaculate. It got stolen. Yeah. So you can see around the car, on the front lip is smashed, damaged. The door's damaged on the side skirt's damaged. You want to get a shot of the interior to understand the level that these guys went to take this car. So they actually tore out the interior looking for the tracker. So get a shot of that.
Oh my God, look at that. Oh, wow.
But thankfully we got the car back thanks to social media. So we put the post out, car's been stolen, and within a week we got the car back with the key. This is my previous car. So this was the first vehicle that we used to launch Edition Cream. Edition Cream is our brand new supercar brand, if you like. So ready built cars on key, ready to go. This is a 488, and it's got a full carbon fiber body kit, as you can see, airlift suspension. It's a signature thing, airlift on most of my cars. I'm not sure if the door's open, but if it is, unfortunately you can't. But yeah, I mean, if you look here, you can see it's got black chrome brake calipers in the engine. So yeah, it's quite a cool car, but this car has been sold, so we sold that for a premium. That's the plan, that's the idea behind the business. So £155,000 is a book value, sold for 210. Yeah, I mean, the Lambo in front of it is again one of my personal Edition Cream fleet vehicles. That's up for 230, book value 189, something like that, you know. So obviously with our spin on it, with our branding on it, all the work that we've done to it, we obviously put it up at a premium, you know.
It's amazing to see the cars. Finally for you, what would you say would be the characteristics that make up a Cream Developments modification?
Characteristics of what, a client or a vehicle?
Of your own style, your own mark.
Well, my cars are very recognisable. If you actually notice, they all kind of got their same sort of low down, wide stance. Wide body is my forte. You know, I'm very much known for my wide body kits, carbon fibre, and huge audio systems. That sort of stuff. You know, there's a formula to a car when you build it. You can't do one or the other. Some people do. In my opinion, that's not the way to do it. If you're going to do it, you have to go the whole hog. Otherwise, don't do it at all. You know.
Cash, thanks so much for showing us around. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Take care.
Still to come, we see how 70 years of technical innovation has transformed the racing driver experience.
I catch up with a 14-time Rallycross champion.
And I meet some of the driving talent at this year's Live Action Arena. Well, I I'm very excited. I know I've said that a lot throughout the show, but I am stood in the middle of some incredible motorsport history. And lucky for me, you might notice we've kind of gotten in through the barriers, VIP, access all areas, because I'm now mates with Rob Janer, who essentially put this whole F1 in history collection together, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. A lot of work gone into it from the Silverstone Interactive Museum, but we've put lots of bits in, and we've got some phenomenal cars I'm going to show you and take you around and maybe get the camera in so you can see a few details inside. Do you want to start with this stunning BRM?
We do. Let's go back inside. So this is 1951 BRM. Looks absolutely incredible. Tell us a little bit of the story.
So this car is chassis number 1. So it's the first one that was used in the Formula One World Championship in 1951. It's a stunning car. It's got a phenomenal engine, 1.5 litre, so quite small, but 16 cylinders, and it makes an amazing noise. If you go to any of the hill climbs, we ran it at Chelsea a little while ago. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to show you a few details inside.
Let's go get the nitty-gritty.
This car would have done approximately 130, 140 mile an hour, and you're sitting in this open cockpit, no seatbelts, nothing holding you in at all, other than this tiny little thin steering wheel to hold on to. So it's really, really tight. Lovely little details here. Can you see the rev counter, how it goes round in a little dial? It's quite amusing, isn't it? And then if you look, if you get down, I know the camera can get in there, and look at how the pedals are set. So you've got one pedal one side and two others the other. It's a really weird driving position. You've got your gear stick, you've got your fuel pumps over this side, and then the really scary bit, you're literally sitting on the fuel tank, and it's an aluminium box, and you've got the fuel you're literally sitting on. So if this crashed, it would be like sitting in a rocket. You know, it is really frightening car. It's 74-year-old racing car that still works and still runs today. I think it's probably the most valuable car that we've got at the show here.
Wow, okay.
Probably.
How much would this be worth then? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
It would put me on the spot. Nothing like this has ever gone up for sale, certainly in recent years, but we would be looking in the millions for something like this to go up for sale, because it is the original car, the BRM, and the BRM, the Owen family are here across the show. I know they've done some bits on the stage and talking, but yeah, it's a stunning car and really, really privileged. Absolutely. So we've got over here the 2022 championship winning, both drivers and constructors winning Red Bull Formula One car. So this is the RB18, and it's absolutely phenomenal. You look at the difference between this and the BRM there. I mean, they are night and day difference. If you think about just first of all the driver safety, the driver sits cocooned in this lovely. You've got the halo, you've got the hands device on, the belts, the high sides, you know, and the driver's really, really well protected in this. You've got all these phenomenal aerodynamic features. So you've got that big wing at the front, you've got the floor, you've got the tunnels that run underneath the car, that huge wing at the back, pushing these great big tyres that are really, really hot and sticky down into the tarmac, giving that grip, meaning this car can go round corners phenomenally quickly, but actually relatively safe in comparison to the BRM.
There's no comparison between the two in terms of design-wise, but it's fascinating, like you say, for motorsport fans and F1 geeks to see just how much we have moved along. So this is the car that Max Verstappen would have won in.
Yes, so this is the same sort of thing, the same size and everything, that the car that Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez would have used throughout the 2022 World Championship. All Formula One cars are generally the same size, and we'll move on to look at the Aston in a second, and you'll see, yeah, they're that size. I love the colour of this. Isn't it stunning? And going away from that matte colour that we were talking about, it's absolutely stunning. It's a shame this car wasn't as successful last year, but I know obviously with Fernando Alonso coming to the team, I know they've lost Sebastian Vettel, but it's an absolutely stunning car again. But you do notice little differences when you look in detail at the way the floors have been designed, the way the rear wings have been designed, little bits of differences on the car. Very, very subtle, but it is an absolute stunning car. And again, the scale and getting customers to come up and have a look at the scale of this car is absolutely beautiful. They're our closest neighbours. They're literally across the way from us at the museum, based at Silverstone. And I know there's lots of work going on in the team. I know quite a number of people that work at the team, and there's lots and lots going on to make this more and more competitive a car. And we really hope Aston Martin over the next couple of years are going to get much, much more up towards the top of the tree, as it were.
You've got to be up close to see these and to really appreciate how fantastic this exhibition is.
And I believe, I'm lucky enough to work around the sport a lot, but this is some of the closest you're ever going to get to the F1 cars. I know.
Especially if you know you and you can.
Yeah, you can get in here.
which
Yeah,
I'm
we're very lucky,
excited about.
and you can get up close to this. I love this one because it's the previous iteration, the car we've got in front of us, the Alpine. This is the 2019 one, and you can see how the rules have changed from kind of the last period to the current ones we're using in 2022, 2023. This Alpine is lovely, and again, it's that matte finish, but it's blue colour. I really like this one. But you can see how the designs of the floors have changed, the front wing, the rear wing, and when you get up close, you can really see the difference in the Red Bull and the Aston that we've been looking at, and how this one's changed as well. The little details. If you look, if we just take the camera up, I'll show you it quickly here if we've got time. Look at the little areas right in where the driver sits, and all of this aero stuff that's going on. We're going to knock the camera crew over here, but if I just show you just show you this bit here. Look at all the aero stuff. So this is there to guide air in different directions and stuff. And we've had this one sat in the foyer at the museum, and you talk to people and they're like, what on earth is this doing? And you realise, we talked about all these thousands of people. Well, this is what a lot of them are doing. They're working on the aero and they're moving the air in different points in different places to try and make these cars go around that track that fraction of a second quicker than their competitors. Yeah.
Excellent. What a job you've got,
I
and the
know.
enthusiasm, you can just feel it.
I know, and it's great to come out to places like this and meet all these people and talk to people like yourself. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as Rob said, we've just scratched the surface here. This is just a small collection of fantastic vehicles, cars, memorabilia that you can see at the museum. So make sure you get yourselves down to this display at Autosport International, but also, more importantly, get yourself down to the show, because it won't stick around for long. In fact, very quickly before we go, how long is it on for?
So the museum, or the museum, we're open as of March 7 days a week, so you can come anytime. This time of year we're open Wednesday through to Sunday. But yeah, once the race season starts, you also get the chance with your museum ticket to get out and see the racing on track as well. So for our club racing and things, you can get out there as well. So yeah.
Awesome. So there you go. Come and see Rob on the stand, and let's go and check out the rest of the show.
Sometimes in my job I get to meet some legends. Now, one legend, this man here, if you don't know who he is, tisk, tisk, tisk. This is Kenneth Hansen. He's 14-time champion, the top level in rallycross. I mean, a phenomenal career, phenomenal driver. I know it's awkward, I'm standing here, I'm just telling you how amazing you are. But tell us a little bit about why you're here, first of all, Autosport International.
Feels a little awkward to be called a legend. I mean, I feel still a little strong to be driving, and that's why I'm here also. I mean, I normally go to the Autosport exhibition here International and have a look on all the suppliers or the people that are here and have some meetings. But now this time I'm also driving. I did it some years ago, but and strange thing is I'm in a Porsche now, which I competed with in the mid-90s, so it's a little strange.
So you're looking in this car, you're in the car now, you're driving it. Are you thinking, oh God, if I knew that at the time, I could have had a little step up further?
And I think if Will Gollop would knew that, I think he would have been a little more careful, yeah.
Exactly that. So you're in the live action arena, kind of a hidden gem for us. You also got your son racing in, or going around the live action arena, Kevin, one of your brothers, one of your sons anyway, and the two brothers racing in World Rallycross. Now this is a purely electric series now, as we know, at the top level in World Rallycross. They're racing again in 2023, and they've got their eyes on the big prize, haven't they, both of them? How do you, as the boss of the team, but also their father, keep both of them, with the same focus when they both want to win the world title?
It can be a little complicated sometimes to have two sons in that level, both focusing to go for the title, as you said. But I mean, during the season, we give both of them the best chance to be as quick as possible, to take everything out of them and the car. And then, during the season, we also see that, okay, this time it seemed to be more advantage for Timmy or Kevin. And then if it need to be some support in the end of the championship, it will be there, because they also see the benefit of the team winning. I mean, the team success, not only their own, because it could be a fight would end up that they lose the title, both of them. So, but definitely we are there to try to grab the title.
It's all down to psychology, doesn't it, and mentality. Yes. Now let's just go back to this car behind us here, because you are in the live action arena today racing it around. I know, as we say, you got your boy in there as well doing it. What's it like to race in this car, and can you give us some idea of what we're looking at?
Yeah, this is a Peugeot 306. Obviously, it was built many years ago, but it's still going strong. And so the cars today are quite much more drivable. You can control the engines a little better. When you push the throttle, you get what you need. and when you go off the throttle, you don't have it anymore. And with the electric, of course, it's fantastic, because the electric engine, you get exactly what you need, and so when you push the throttle. To get into the car, I mean, I'm not driving every day and now at times, but to get into the car, of course, it's a little tricky there to, first of all, to jump in and just feel a new car, how it behaves and so. And then the main thing of this is to give the audience a good feeling then when they see the car on track. So you need to be a little sideways to show a little and so. But it's nice in there.
You can do it. Now, you mentioned changing, going back to the old format, really, and there was a lot of change, wasn't there, in 2022 when it came to the top level. We're talking World Rallycross, the RX1E cars, because it went to electric, it went to a different way of racing with the different format as well. Do you think that in that moment there was probably too much change for the die-hard fans?
Yeah, it could be, but you know, if you have someone believing in it, and we discussed a lot with the promoter about things, we should also be open to try things. But also we listen to the fans, and together we saw that this is not a good move, so we moved back. It was not possible during the season, but I think it's a good sign also we go back to the old format, more or less 100%, and give the audience what they want.
I think it's totally right. I've been lucky enough to be in World Rallycross and European Rallycross for 1 year, last year. I'm back in it again this year. And I've been to Lyden a number of times. The racing is fantastic. I know why Rallycross is so exciting. Short races, they are fast, they are lively from the very, very beginning. If you could just give us an idea of what makes it so exciting. So anybody watching this who's never really checked out Rallycross, why should they?
It's never really boring in rallycross. If you go and watch a race, it's very short between the races, and it's only 5 laps. So I mean, if you have a race which is some distance between the cars, it's only a few minutes, and then the next race is on. So you always have a lot of moments there during the qualification heats. And when you come to the semifinals and so, then it's really, the adrenaline is up, everyone wants to win, and then it's a next level of rallycross.
It's absolutely fantastic. You should certainly really check it out yourselves. So 2023 Lyden Hill, put it in your calendars. Check it out on the Rallycross website. 14 titles. I can't not ask you this question. You've been asked it many, many times. 14 titles. You're allowed to keep one. All the rest have to be thrown away. Which one are you keeping and why?
Many times it is the first one is very special, but also the first one in the supercar, 1994. Those two is rather special for me. So. I choose both.
You're not allowed. Which one? You're Kenneth Anton. You can keep 2, all right? There you go. What a lovely man, Kenneth. So much. It's so nice to chat to you. Thank you so much for spending a bit of time with us, and we look forward to seeing you out in the live action arena as well. Thank you.
Thank you too, and welcome to Lyden.
The live action arena has been wowing audiences in their thousands for years now. We have had monster trucks through to the most expensive and insane looking cars, and of course those incredible stunts like the 360-degree loop, the loop. There is so much that goes on into putting a show like this on. We've got some incredible vehicles that are going to be out here any moment, so I've snuck in to find out what does exactly go into putting on a show of this scale. One man who's been a big part of this show for many a year is film stuntman extraordinaire Terry Grant.
What we're doing here today and what my whole role is within the live show. So we're choreographing and putting together the first press show, which we've just done, which was fairly good, I believe. We're going to make a few changes. My role is choreographing all of the stunt side and the entertainment parts, and so there's quite a lot going on today. It's been 3 or 4 days of hard graft for a lot of people at the moment, and then we'll have a look, see what the show went like and see what we need to change in a bit of a debrief meeting later. So from me, that's my job is a professional stunt driver, but also I coordinate this and the whole thing. So it's layering up, especially the jump, layering up. We've got 3 good elements there. So there's the car underneath at the bottom. I need to make sure he's right in the right place. The bikes go at the right time, and then the truck as well through the middle to make sure we're all in the air at the right time. The highlights of the show, I mean, there's many. All of the race teams that are racing put on a fantastic show here year on year. Johnny Herbert and Emma being the presenters. Johnny is just a hoot, and we're just letting Johnny be Johnny and mess about, so that'll be fun. And then there's all the craziness. There's the bikes jumping as we see cars crashing. So it's definitely worth coming to see for sure.
Well, 2 days here in Birmingham NEC have gone by in a flash for Autosport International 2023. There are 2 more days to go, Saturday and Sunday, the weekend days, the days that you can come along and see what is going on here. And to tell us more, I've got Ben Wibley, the man who's really put this show together with his team. So Ben, highlights for us, what have we got this weekend?
Well, this weekend, from today now, the changeover begins. So we've done the 2-day trade. So we had about 30,000 trade that came along and attended. And now we expect to open this up to about 60,000 public that can come along and really experience everything that motorsport has to offer. And that caters for everything from the live action arena with Terry Grant. He's got a fantastic new display that he's brought for us for this year. We've got the performance and tuning car show and the top tune car. That will be announced on Saturday morning. Right the way through, as you can see behind me, we've got the Autosport stage. So again, something for everybody that can really come in and see what's going on from national motorsport all the way to Formula One. And they even get to see Max Verstappen's car on the GP Silverstone Museum.
To look forward to on day 3 of Autosport International, when we open the doors to the public after 3 long years.
Yeah, lots to see, including the top tuned car competition. I'll be taking a look at the cars and I'll be revealing the winner of that competition. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Exciting stuff. So do make your way down here if you can and come out, check out the show in person. And if not, of course, make sure you tune in.